Hello there. Today, me and Susan are sitting down to discuss a 80s movie today, a sword and sorcery movie or fantasy movie, as they call it, from 1983. We're talking Krull. And I said Krull, not crap. Krull? We're not talking crap.
Or
Sometimes
Krull,
we do,
because
but
this isn't the Doctor Who, the fourth Doctor story. Krull, the power of Krull.
yeah, this is This is Krull, the planet of Krull,
Mm-hmm.
um, where the beast and the slayers have come from out of space, and they're ravaging the planet. Um, Only one man can save the planet, marry the princess, and their son will rule the galaxy, as the narration at the beginning of the movie says. And that's it, really. It's a quest movie. Getting a band of people together to go on the quest to defeat the beast. Um, so there's a few familiar faces in this movie.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll get onto that as we go along. So Susan, Krull, your opening thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to really watch this movie because it's got such a great cast. So much fun to really watch this, and because apparently this week is the Alan Armstrong Appreciation Weekend.
In Susan's head,
In
yes.
my mind, yes. In my mind, it's the Alan Armstrong Appreciation Weekend, and he plays a character called Torquil who walks with our hero Colwyn, played by Ken Marshall, all the way to rescue Lisette Anthony's character Lissa, both starting. I mean, basically, I guess the the role must have been written for her. I don't know. And it's got an amazing, beautiful scenery. Um, I think I think this one was shot in the Alps, and a lot of it's really breathtaking, but they still have this huge set of this spaceship slash castle, and like another fourth Doctor. This is basically like taking a lot of the tropes that the fourth Doctor Who came up with, and maybe expanding them on a big basis, like the castle being a spaceship was part of that uh, that story. The one with the vampires called State of Decay. Yeah, that's the one. And um, and it's got so many amazing actors in it. It's got Freddie Jones, Alan Armstrong again. He played Turkle, and
Mhm.
Francesca Innes played the widow in her little cocoon in the center of the spider web with a real live big uh, sort of transparent spider. Gosh, that spider was kind of intense looking because it was transparent. You could see its little
Mm.
insides. That was crazy. And It's got a very young Liam Neeson, which was fun, and also a very young Robbie Coltrane, and that's also fun. So, yeah, there are quite a few, famous people in it, but those are some of them really. And I just enjoyed it. I know it was a flop, but just like the movie we just reviewed. We just reviewed Aragon, and that one was, sort of a box office lemon, and this one's sort of a box office lemon, which doesn't make any sense, either one of those, because they're both amazing. But yeah, we've bought this thing online a couple times to watch, and then lost the file, and then had to bought it, and then we bought it on a DVD, and then we lost the DVD. So it's not in high repetitious play. So the only trouble with this is that we keep losing Krull. A bit like the glade or whatever it is, that instrument, the glaive. Anyway, not sure why we keep losing it, but we do. Anyway, it's a great story, and it apparently happens in outer space because there's two moons, and it's a planet that's that eventually will control the galaxy. What do they think this is, Trantor? Do they think this is for crying out loud, this ain't Coruscant? It's not like there's all like the whole thing is making ships and going into space. I don't know about this. I don't know about them ruling the galaxy. Sounds a bit Darth Vader-ish. Anyway.
Well, funny you should say.
Yeah. So those are my questions, and back over to you, Lee.
Thanks, Susan. Yeah, it's been a while since I sat down and watched Krull. Sitting down this week watching it, I was getting Star Wars vibes off it. The old man came down from the mountain, knowing that his help was needed. I was getting the Obi-Wan Kenobi connection. I was getting the prince with the weapon. He had to go on a little quest to get the weapon. He had to use some sort of inner force to use the weapon to save a princess. I'm thinking, well, I'm getting Star Wars vibes. But then also again, there's other influences in this. I mean, the Slayers, great designs of the Slayers, but once you killed them, that creature coming out of their heads, I'm thinking Alien. I mean,
Yeah.
with a little creature coming out into the ground, Alien. So there was a few influences from little other movies, I think, in this. Yeah, you've mentioned the cast. As you say, very young Liam Neeson. Alan Armstrong as well, again. Liza Anthony, she was in her heyday back in the early 80s. She was everywhere. TV, movies, music videos. But she was dubbed in this. It's not a speaking voice.
Really?
Yeah, she was dubbed in this because the producers wanted to have a more mature sounding voice.
Oh.
And as you say, you've got a young Robbie Coltrane in this. He was dubbed as well. That's not his voice. He was dubbed by another English actor called Michael Elphick. If people know Michael Elphick, his most famous role was in a TV series called Boone. And several years in EastEnders. But I think Robbie Coltrane was dubbed because of he must have had a really, really strong Scottish accent back then. You say you've got, and then you've got, say, a great actor, Freddie Jones. He was being in loads of movies, loads of TV shows over here in England. And then you've got the character of the Cyclops.
Oh, the Cyclops.
Played by Bernard Breslow, who over here is famous for the Carry On movies.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're a Doctor Who fan, he was the very first Ice Warrior.
Yeah.
Back in the Troughton days. Yeah, great character. And back then in '83, that makeup there was brilliant.
Yeah, and the Cyclops was such an emotionally satisfying character. I mean, he had so much. Oh, so good.
Yeah, because he knew he could see his own death. That's the only thing they could see in the future was his own death. So he knew when he was going to die. That was the gift from the beast. Take one eye from them, give them the gift of seeing into the future, but he conned them. All they could see into the future was their day of the death. Nasty piece of work. I mean, the beast. What a great design on that as well.
Oh my
You know,
gosh!
you don't really see. And I love the way the effect because it was sort of blurred. You know, the lighting on it was great. But you saw the red eye, the mouth, the hand, the claws.
Yeah.
That was a great design.
And how the inside of the spaceship was more like the outside of his body.
Yeah, it wasn't dark.
No.
It was like it was just like pearly white and
Yeah.
all these smooth corridors where Lizette Anthony was running down.
Yep.
Great design, set designs. I think most of it was filmed at Pinewood, the James Bond stage.
Nice.
But yeah, a nice little. Also, you've got the character of well, what forget him?
Ergo.
David
David Badley.
David Batley, the shape-shifting magician who gets everything wrong.
Every time he tries to turn anybody else into anything else, he ends up turning himself into that thing.
I mean, this film
He's
is
got
supposed
some
to be
practicing
PG.
to do.
Yeah. I mean, this film is supposed to be PG, but some of these scenes in this was quite. I mean, you say with the creatures popping out their heads, and then the changeling with the emerald seer.
Yeah.
You know, with the eye.
That was so sad.
But the way his doppelganger died with its face melting and then burying itself into the ground. A PG.
Yeah.
It was a bit, but this
Brutal.
is how we knew brutal, but also kids mostly be back there loved it. Like we did.
Yeah.
And also, who else have we got in here? Oh yeah, we've also got Todd Carty as Oswin, the young lad in Alan Armstrong's band of thieves. Known over here, Todd Carty for two things really. Well, three things is Grange Hill playing Tuck, or EastEnders playing
Yeah.
Mark, or his infamous appearance on Dancing on Ice.
Oh yeah.
Celebrity. Oh, he was awful.
Huh.
But yeah, it was nice to see Todd Carty in something other than his usual thing. So yeah, it was a nice little fantasy movie. You don't get these nowadays. I think we got the sword and sorcery fantasy movies. You didn't get many in the 70s, but the 80s was full of them.
Yep. There was a
You know,
lot.
you had you had the Conan, you had the Beastmaster, you had Krull, you had Legend, all that. You know, Lady Hawk, Hawk the Slayer, all great sword and sorcery. But then come the 90s, they sort of faded away again.
Hmm. So
Not so much these days.
that's why Jackson decided to make Tolkien's books, because he
Mm.
figured like he'd be like
Oh,
the
sorry,
only
yeah,
one in the room doing those.
yeah. He saw the chance, he saw the opportunity, he saw that window, he went for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And
any any
the other
moments for you
thing
what stand
that
out?
happened later on in the 90s was the affection for historical stories, stuff like Jane Austen and Rob Roy and The Highlander. I mean, it's not exactly, but you know, pushing more history and less fantasy. I don't know. That was something. And then there were some mummy stories, it was interesting.
Mhm.
But this one, the music to me, I know you said it had a lot of feeling like Star Wars, but to me, the music, because it was written by James Horner, it it was
Yeah,
absolutely 100% re- resonating on the same level as the first four Star Trek movies. Because James Horner wrote
yeah,
that theme and those connecting pieces that of high intensity or orchestral swells and things like that, and stings that he brought, and he used a lot of that kind of stuff in this. But this one also reminded me so much of those four or five movies that he did that they used some of his stings and swells for. I just think like, wow, James Horner, you know, that was brilliant. And then the other thing that I liked about this is like I don't really know what these what another thing that was produced or directed or written by these guys, but the responding parts of this to the music and the and yeah, the cinematographer had done a ton of really amazing stuff, like he did History of Violence, Red Planet, Existence, The Man in the Iron Mask, Mars Attacks, Immortal Beloved, and Butterfly. The Vanishing, Naked Lunch, Dead Ringers, and Extremis, and Krull, and then he also did the cinematography. Must have been where you really brought the feeling of Star Wars in, because it was shot by the same guy who shot Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
Well,
so a lot of maybe the composition and things were similar to the way you're used to seeing that. I just think, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I mean, he did so many things that were, kind of amazing, and two of those were this one.
I'm just
But
wondering if this movie. I'm just wondering if this movie, especially the lighting in this movie, influenced J.J. Abrams where he films things, because there was a lot of screen flare.
oh yeah,
The light. The lighting like he does nowadays in his movies.
yeah.
There was, because I'd never seen. I mean, this was 1983. I don't remember if there was any other movies before that used that lighting effect.
Huh.
But this one had a few of it, in the Beast's realm, and I thought, wow, because I was watching it, I thought, I wonder if Abrams is this is where he got it from.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I'm not complaining, because it really did suit the mood of this movie.
Yeah,
But some of the movies what Abrams has done, it hasn't suited.
yeah.
So
I agree. Anyway, like I just thought that the fact that the music reminded me of Star Trek, and the cinematography reminded me of Star Wars. I just thought,
as soon as James Horner's name came up on the opening credits, because the music was playing,
uh-huh.
you do get that. You do get, oh yeah, right, yeah. He's mostly used this before us on another movie, and you do. I know what you're saying, Susan. You do get that deja vu.
The swells and the stings. I just think, like, when the music swells, and then
Yeah.
when they do that sting, and then that retardando and stuff like that. Those things were like, that was something that James Horner was just famous for.
Mm.
Anyway, I really think that our Alan Armstrong Appreciation Weekend is going really well. I just love the fact that he was in both of these things, and he played characters.
And you know what?
Go on.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't planned at all.
No, it wasn't, but it just happens that way.
Because you last week you shouted out Aragon. Should we do Aragon? All right, then we'll do Aragon.
Uh-huh.
And then I went away because we didn't pick the second film. And I just thought, well, let's have a fantasy movie like Aragon or something like that. I know what we hadn't done Krull, and I didn't realize that Alan Armstrong was in both movies.
No, I know, but it's
But we do that something.
It's just because it's all part of what we geek out on. These things, like, but in this one, I mean, he survived longer than he did in Aragon, which is good.
Yeah. And I totally forgot Liam Neeson was in Krull as well.
I know, so did I. But
in
in
his
this one,
earlier movies.
he definitely has a certain set of skills with a sword and stuff.
And womanizing.
And womanizing.
Seven wives.
A wife for every port.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about that crew before we move on?
David Batley was so great to see. I mean, I think you know, he plays the magician, and it's so good. And
I'll tell you something. There is because we are Whovians, you know, in deep down.
yeah.
There is another Who connection to this movie.
What's that?
The father of Lizette Anthony's character, the king, Elrig, was played by Bernard Archard,
Yeah.
who played one of his most famous roles in Doctor Who was Professor Scarman in Pyramids of Mars. He was
Oh
the one
yeah.
who was controlled by Sutek.
The Sutek.
Yeah. He'd also appeared in was it Enemy of the World as well and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it was Enemy of the World. So yeah, that was you see, that was when he came walking in his robes. I thought, oh look, there's Professor Scarman. This is what Whovians do.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, he was in a lot of Doctor Who. I mean, he was in 10 episodes, so that's pretty sweet. I mean, he definitely was in a lot of different things. The Power of the Daleks and
that was it. Power of the Daleks. Was he in Enemy of the World? I can't remember. It might be in Power of the Daleks I saw him in.
and the Pyramids of Mars. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it then.
And I just think that there's there is something to be said for people who are in Doctor Who, because as we support, we as fans support them through the rest of their lives. It's good to just like remember that they weren't only known for that, but they were only known for that.
Being a Whovian as well, digressing, being a Whovian, this is recorded today on the 20th of August. So I don't know when I'm going to put this one up, but on the 20th of August, it's a happy 80th birthday to Sylvester McCoy.
And a happy 60th to Sophie Aldred.
Happy 61st to Sophie.
Oh, 61st.
And happy, well, he's no longer with us. Happy birthday to Anthony Ainley as well.
Oh, yeah.
He would have been, I think he'd have been 98 now. Something like that.
Right.
Yeah, but I know, we digress. We digressed again, as we do.
Yeah.
So,
but
final say, Scott?
Final say. Yeah, happy birthday, you guys, and happy Alan Armstrong, Alan Armstrong Appreciation Weekend. We just want you to know that we love what you did. But anyway, the other thing is, let's hope that filmmaking turns back to doing more sword and sorcery and swashbuckling motion pictures in the late 2020s or early 2030s, because this is necessary. It's about freaking
very
time.
lacking. It's very lacking.
Yeah, and we demand more. And
Yeah.
And thanks, Lee, for joining me on these podcasts. I'll give this one an 8.5 out of 10. I will not pan it. I will keep buying it over and over and over again as I lose it and find it and lose it and find it and lose it and find it. I don't know. Anyway, enjoy it a lot, and it's got to be somewhere in our collection here. I just can't seem to find it anywhere. Anyway, that's
You'll
all.
find it when you'll find it when you're not even looking for it. That's the
That's
thing.
what I'm trying to do with my phone too. Yeah, exactly, precisely. Anyway, yeah. So
you said you was 8.5 with this.
Yeah, 8.5 out of 10.
I'm just going a little bit. I'm gonna go 9 for this.
Oh, all right.
9 glass spiders out of 10. Your camera's gone off, Susan.
All right, there we are. Sorry about that.
Yeah, very technical. Yeah, 9 glass spiders out of 10. Enjoyable. Yes, it's a little bit dated with the effects and stuff like that, but it's a fantasy movie, so it's not set in the real world, so you can, just get involved with the story and sit down and enjoy it. And I just don't understand why this one flopped at the theaters either. 83. What was out in 83? Return of the Jedi. Was it released roughly around the same time as that? Who knows? What else was out in 83? Superman 3. Was people going to see these movies instead of this? As I say, it's unexplained, as William Shatner would say.
It is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our little review of Krull. It's a nice little movie. I would recommend it to anybody who hasn't seen it. If you have seen it, please leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of it. Leave a comment below if you want to join us or contact us on any our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X, wherever we are. All we ask of you, if you want to join us, is be 18 and over. Because as I say, there's some things we watch or listen to what there is age restrictions. So you just got to be 18 plus. Be it if you've got a laptop or a PC, tablet, mobile phone with a working camera and microphone, because we've got to see you and we've got to hear you. It's no good turning up and saying, "Oh, I ain't got a microphone." How are you gonna ma'am your review? But yeah, so that's all we ask of you if you want to join us, because it would be nice to have some fresh faces. We may get some old faces back. Who knows? Let's see, shall we? So until then, guys, please be safe, and we'll see you next time on our Geeks Assembled Reviews. Bye for now.